students. We are going to discuss soldering and brazing in this session. So first we will go through what is soldering and what are the types of soldering. See, when I say soldering, it is also a joining process where we are going to join two pieces of metals by the application of heat, and we are going to use a filler metal whose melting point is below 450 degrees centigrade. And the filler metal which we use in this soldering is called as solder in general, and this solder is generally an alloy of tin and lead with varying proportions. So when it comes to application of soldering, the most common application is in assembly of electronic circuit board, also in making connections between copper pipes in plumbing systems and joining the sheet metals. You can find the application of soldering. So when I say soldering, there are different types of soldering methods. So we'll discuss a few. The first one is soldering iron method. You can see the figure. So before you go for soldering, you should make sure that the work pieces to be joined should be cleaned thoroughly by removing all the contaminants and making the surfaces clean and ready for soldering. So in soldering iron method, we are going to use a soldering iron handle where we are going to melt the solder at the tip of this soldering iron handle, and the same solder is going to be transferred in the gap between the two workpieces. So it is the most common and widely used method of soldering. The tool used in this method is a soldering iron with a copper coated tip which is heated electrically. So we need power supply for this. So the surfaces of the workpiece to be joined or cleaned to remove all the contaminants, as I said. We have to use a suitable flux which is going to be applied at the joint in order to avoid oxidation. So the commonly used flux are zinc chloride, hydrochloric acid, and etc. So in process, first we need to heat the soldering iron at a suitable temperature, and a little solder is melted at the tip of the soldering iron. So the tip of the soldering iron is brought at the joint, and the molten solder is transferred, or you can say deposited, and the molten solder flows into the joint. Then you should allow the solder to cool and let it solidify, forming a joint, and the joint is cleaned to remove the flux residues in order to prevent corrosion. So you can see the figure. We have two workpiece, and the joint we need, wherever there is joint, we need to get the soldering iron, and at the tip of the soldering iron we need to melt the solder, and the same solder is transferred in the joint, and the solder is going to flow into the joint, and it will fill up the joint, and we're going to get the soldering joint. So the next type is torch soldering. See, when I say soldering, the working is same in all the types, but the only difference is the method of heating or method of melting the solder. So when I say torch soldering, in this type of soldering, the required heat is supplied by the flame of an oxyacetylene gas torch. So we know what is oxyacetylene welding, which we discussed in the previous session. So the same oxyacetylene mixture is used in a gas torch in order to supply the heat to melt the solder. So the blowtorch consists of a mixing chamber where the acetylene and oxygen are mixed in the required proportions, and the flame is directed towards the workpiece whose surfaces are applied with the flux. And one more thing, when you go for soldering, first you need to heat the workpieces to be joined, then you should go for depositing the filler metal, or that is solder. So once the workpieces are heated, when the workpieces are heated to the required temperature, the solder is moved into the joint area where due to heat it melts and flows into the gap in between the two workpieces. So in this method you can see we are using the heat of the oxyacetylene flame in order to heat the workpieces. So once the workpieces are heated to the suitable temperature, we are going to transfer the solder into the gap of the workpiece so that it will melt because of the heat of the workpiece, and we should allow it to solidify so that we can get a joint. And the applications, you can see the plumbing field for soldering copper tubing to copper fitting. Then third one is wave soldering. See, again it is a soldering method which will be used by in electronic components, or you can say electronic industries, where electronic components are soldered to a printed circuit board to form an electronic assembly. So in wave soldering, the method is very simple. The name given wave soldering because the PCBs which are to be soldered are passed through a wave of solder, that is filler metal. The molten solder is pumped out of a narrow slot, thus creating waves. And when the waves are created, these PCBs are passed over the waves, touching it with their lower sides, and you are going to get the soldering joint. So when it comes to advantages of soldering, in general it is a simple and economical process. Second one is, since it is done at a relatively low temperature, no metallurgical damage to the base metal. So as we know, in case of welding, the work pieces or the arc which you are going to generate are having very high temperature. At this high temperature, there are chances that the microstructure of the base metal may get altered. But in this case, that is soldering, there is no such problem as we are dealing with very low temperature. Third one, soldering joints are easy to repair or to do rework. Then low energy is required to solder, and thin parts can be joined very easily. So when it comes to welding, it is very difficult to join thin parts, so that drawback can be overcome by this soldering method. So along with these advantages, there are few drawbacks. First one is, the flux residue should be removed after soldering. So as we know, we are using flux. Once the soldering is completed, we need to remove this flux, otherwise which cause corrosion. Then the strength of the joint which you are going to get in soldering is little bit weak. And last one, thick parts cannot be joined efficiently. Now we'll discuss what is brazing. See, the difference between brazing and soldering is, here also we are going to join similar or dissimilar metal by means of a filler metal whose melting point is above 450 degrees centigrade. In case of soldering, it was below 450, but here it is above 450 degrees centigrade. But it should be below the melting point of the workpiece. And the filler metal which we use in brazing is called as pelter, whereas in soldering it was solder. Here it is pelter, which is a non-ferrous metal or alloy. Again, when I say brazing, we have different types of brazing, like torch brazing, furnace brazing, dip brazing, vacuum brazing, resistance brazing, and induction brazing. We'll discuss a few types just for your knowledge purpose. So first one is torch brazing. So what is this torch brazing? Very simple. You can see the figure. So in case of torch brazing, we are going to use a blow torch through which we are going to produce the flame. So before going for the brazing operation, you should ensure that the surfaces to be joined are cleaned in order to remove all the contaminants. After cleaning, the flux is applied at the joint. Generally the flux used here is boric acid or borax or some chlorides. The base metals are broadly heated by an oxyacetylene welding torch as shown in figure. So here you can see whatever the blowtorch you are using, here we are going to produce the flame by burning the mixture of oxyacetylene. So once we get the flame, this flame is broadly used to heat the workpieces. Once the workpieces are heated, the filler metal is placed at the joint. So whatever the filler metal we have, it will be placed at the joint and is heated with a carburizing flame. So what is this carburizing flame? As we know, we are going to mix oxygen and acetylene in order to produce the flame. So if the percentage of acetylene is more, then it is called as reducing flame or carburizing flame. If the proportion of oxygen is more, then it is called as oxidizing flame. And if they have equal proportion, they are mixed in equal proportion, then it is called as neutral flame. So here we are going to use a carburizing flame. So when we use this carburizing flame, when it is directed towards the filler metal melts and flows through the joint as shown in figure. You can see here we have placed the filler metal Okay, once we place the filler metal, we're going to use the carburizing flame. It will melt the spelter and it will deposit into the joint, and we're going to we should allow it to cool so that it should solidify and we should get a joint. The workpiece is allowed to cool for some time and the joint is then cleaned to remove flux residues in order to prevent corrosion. Then second one is furnace brazing. So it is also a very simple brazing method, which is also called as a semi-automated process and is suitable for mass production. So here again, first we should clean the workpieces to be joined, then brazing filler metal is placed on the surfaces to be joined and later placed into the furnace. The furnace has to be evacuated from air in order to prevent any oxidation or contamination. Once you remove the air, the whole assembly inside the furnace is brought to the brazing temperature of about 450 degrees centigrade or more than 450 degrees centigrade, after which the brazing filler metal, that is spelter, melts and flows into the joint. And third one is dip brazing. So again, it is a very useful brazing method. It is particularly suited for brazing aluminium. So again, here first you should clean the parts. Once cleaning is done, the filler metal should be placed in the joint. Once it is placed in the joint, the assembly should be preheated in an air furnace at about 550 degrees centigrade. Once preheating is done, the filler metal melts and it will flows through the joint and it will deposit into the joint, and this entire assembly is dipped in a salt bath, molten salt bath, for about 2 minutes, which serves as a heat transfer medium as well as the flux. So the temperature maintained in the bath is about 590 degrees centigrade. Once the assembly is dipped in the bath, the molten flux comes in contact with all the internal and external surfaces at the same time, and after 2 minutes you should remove it and you should clean all the flux in order to prevent corrosion. Two more types are there, but it is not required for you. Then if you look at the advantages of brazing, it is a clean operation without flames and without affecting the surroundings. As you can see, in soldering we are going to use a flame, but here the flame we are not using, so it is a clean operation and it will not affect the atmosphere also. And here high quality joints can be obtained with semi-skilled operator. And the disadvantages of brazing are, it is possible to join similar and some more advantages are there. It is possible to join similar and dissimilar metals. Here the distribution of stress is uniform over a larger area, and the strength of the joint here is stronger compared to soldering joint, and there are negligible effect on the microstructure of base metal as we are dealing with very low temperature. When it comes to disadvantages, since we are using flux, these flux residues should be cleaned thoroughly after brazing in order to prevent corrosion, and it is suitable only for it is difficult to join large and thick sections, and the filler metals used in brazing are very expensive. Now we'll go through the differences between soldering and brazing. So when it comes to filler metal, the filler metal used in soldering is called as solder, whereas in brazing it is called as spelter. And in case of soldering, the filler metal has a melting point below 450 degrees centigrade, whereas in brazing it is above 450 degrees centigrade but below the melting point of workpiece usually. Then third one is, filler metals are usually alloys of tin in case of soldering, whereas in brazing they are aluminium, silver, gold, copper or nickel. Then in soldering, the joint what you're going to get is weaker compared to brazing, whereas in brazing the joints are stronger compared to soldering. Then the flux used in soldering is called as rosin, whereas in the flux used in brazing is called as borax. And when it comes to soldering, it is usually suitable to join metals with small thickness or minimum thickness, whereas brazing is suitable for joining metals with larger thickness. Okay, now we have completed joining process, that is welding, soldering and brazing. So in the next session, hopefully we'll start belt drives, and we'll go through what are the different types of belt drives. Then we have some derivations, so those things we'll discuss in the next class. At the same time, whatever the WhatsApp group is there for your, so for the students. In that I'm going to put some videos related to this soldering, brazing and welding, so that you can get thorough visualization of these methods. Thank you.